My name's Jackson, and this happened during my sophomore year when I missed out on dorms and had to scramble for a place to live. I ended up in a co-op, a quirky three-house setup just off campus. It wasn't perfect, but it was cheap, and I had a beat-up scooter to zip around. So I made it work. Most folks that were students like me, broke, loud, and young, though a few oddballs stuck out. Some grad students, a TA or two, and a couple of older types chasing late degrees. But the one who grabbed my attention right away was this woman, Maricela. She lived in the next house over, probably pushing 60, with silver-streaked hair and a crooked shuffle like her spine was giving up. She was quiet, too quiet, and her face stayed blank, like she was sleepwalking through life. I figured she was tied to university somehow, maybe staff or an old grad, but no one said, and I didn't pry. The first time I clocked something off was in our shared kitchen. Weird spot anyway, since the other houses had their own setups. So why was she there? Not cooking, not chatting, just standing, staring while we scrambled eggs and blasted tunes. She didn't join in, just watched, and I swear her eyes locked on me more than once. I brushed it off. Paranoia, right? Nobody else seemed to notice her, which bugged me more than it should have. A few nights later, I'm grinding out a paper in my room. When I peek out the window, there she is, smack in the street, staring up at me. It's late, chilly, and she's not even on the sidewalk, just frozen there, gawking. Was she aiming for my window or the house in general? I couldn't tell, but it creeped me out. On impulse, I waved, trying to play nice. Big mistake. She didn't wave back. She hopped, like a kid who won a prize, then bolted toward her house. My stomach twisted. I just painted a target on myself, and now she knew my room. I grilled a housemate, Theo, about her that night. He shrugged, said, "Oh, that lady? She's always been around. Just ignore her, man." No details, just a hand-me-down warning. I pushed another guy, a senior from her house, and got a half answer. She was university adjacent. A bit unhinged, but not violent. He said the property manager picked the tenants, so they couldn't do much. It didn't sit right, but I tried to let it go. Then it escalated. One night, past midnight, I step out of my room and nearly crash into her. She's right there, inches from my door, silent as a ghost. I yelp, stumble back. She doesn't flinch, just turns and shuffles off like I'd interrupted her. That wasn't the last of it. She'd pop up in random spots, lurking by the stairs, hovering near the trash cans, always where she shouldn't be. Then I lost my room key. These old hotel-turned-co-op rooms had individual locks, and I was paranoid about leaving mine open. Losing it pissed me off. I have to shell out for a new copy, and spares were a hassle. A few nights later, I jolt awake to a faint thump from my closet. Every 20 seconds, bump, like something shifting inside. I'm not a coward, so I creep over, hard hammering, and fling the door open with a war cry. There's Maricela, my tie knotted around her throat, eyes bulging, a butcher knife in her hand. I scream again, this time it's real. She lunges, blade out. I dodge, tackle her frail frame, and wrestle the knife away. She's thrashing, biting, shrieking like a banshee. I pin her, yelling for help. Theo and another guy, Robbie, barrel in, hold her down, and someone dials 911. Cops show up fast, cuff her, and she goes mute, eerie as hell. They find my key in her pocket. No surprise there. Weeks later, word trickles back. She was a property manager's sister. Stashed her off the books because of her mental health. He got busted for negligence and good riddance. I pity her, sure, but that doesn't erase the fact she nearly gutted me. No clue why she zeroed in on me. Maybe I was just the unlucky one who waved. I'm graduating soon and I'll miss college, but this place? It's tainted forever. Story 2. I'm Evelyn, and I've lived with my husband Clarence in a cozy 2-story rental near the university for 20 years. Our kids are grown, and I'm retired, so I spend my days on the porch, knitting, reading, or soaking up the vibe with Clarence. Last year, a new guy moved into the house across the street, a godsend after years of staring at an empty shell. He was young, mid-20s, with a sleek Porsche and a wardrobe that screamed money. I pegged him as loaded or faking hard. His name was Silas, and he was a charmer. Hit off with Clarence over beers and basketball talk. Said he freelanced for some online hotshot, whatever that means. Sounded cushy, and his stock chatter backed it up. Nice kid. All in all, things ticked along fine for months. I'd wave when Silas peeled out in his car, and he'd wave back. Then I noticed this girl, Zara, rolling up in a red Mustang, all blonde hair and tight skirts. She'd show up once or twice a week when he wasn't around, letting herself in with a key. Girlfriend. I figured maybe house sitting. Young love's weird these days, so I didn't judge. One night, I spot them together, her riding shotgun in his Porsche. Cute couple, right? But then the crack showed. One afternoon, I'm pruning roses when shouting erupts. They're in his driveway, going at it. Zara's flailing her arms, spitting venom, looking ready to deck him. She storms off, tires squealing. Silas just shakes his head and slinks inside. Lover's tiff. I tell myself, none of my business. But she kept coming back, always when he wasn't home. I mentioned it to Clarence, and he told me to butt out. Fair enough. Then one night, sirens rip us awake. We stumble outside, cop cars and ambulance. The works, all at Silas's place. Neighbors gather, whispering, as cops haul Zara out in cuffs. She's blank-faced, calm as death. Then they will Silas out on a stretcher, soaked in blood. I gasp. Clarence grabbed my hand. He's gone a week, and when he's back, we check on him. He spills it all. Zara wasn't supposed to have a key. She'd swiped and copied to spare. She'd gotten clingy, demanding gifts and trips. When he pushed back, she flipped, tracked his phone, planted cameras in his room, swapped batteries when he was out. That fight I saw, him dumping her. She wouldn't take it, came back with a knife, and nearly killed him. He fought her off, barely. Doc said he was an inch from dead. We try to comfort him, but he's a wreck. Says he's done flashing cash, especially around girls like her. He moves out soon after. Said the house felt cursed, and Zara's crew might know where he lived. We haven't seen him since. I hope he's okay. No one that young should carry scars like that. Story 3. I'm Cade, and I landed in this off-campus co-op cluster after a messy breakup towards my old life. Needed a reset, and the spot, quiet, spread-out houses near the university, fit the bill. I'd struck it lucky with some crypto cash, but I'd learned the hard way about picking the wrong crowd. Most houses here were student-packed, but the one next to mine was a beast, sprawling, fit for a dynasty. I figured big crew lived there, but boy, was I off. I played nice, introducing myself to everyone. Saved that giant house for last. My charm was running on fumes after a day of small talk. When the door swung open, this wiry dude with a mohawk grinned at me. Younger than me, maybe 24. Caught me off guard. He cut off my new neighbor pitch with a laugh. Finally, someone not collecting Social Security. I cracked up, venting about feeling like a lone wolf among the co-op's older vibe. His name was Zane, and he said I should swing by for a drink. I shot back, "How about now?" expecting a shrug in. Instead, he glanced back, all shifty, and mumbled he was swamped with work. "What kind?" I asked. His grin faded. "Tech stuff," he said, vague as hell, then pivoted fast. Said he lived solo in that monster house, which blew my mind. We swapped numbers, and I bounced, stoked to have a chill guy nearby, though the solo gig nagged at me. Months rolled by, and Zane was a ghost. I'd text, he'd dodge, always busy. No visitors, no deliveries, nada. His Jeep never moved. I work from home. Third floor setup overlooking his place. So I catch glimpses. Nothing. Then one Tuesday night, 2 a.m., bass rattles me awake. I stumble to a window. 6 cars clog his driveway. Lights on, party raging. Weird for a weekday, but I'm not a narc. I hike over, knock, no answer. Music's blasting, so I try the handle. Unlocked. Inside, a pile of sneakers greets me. 12 pairs, easy, but the place is dead. No cups, no people, just noise. I freeze. The music isn't music. It's a loop. Laughter, cheers, glasses clinking. Fake. My skin crawls. Those cars, those shoes. Someone's here. I creep toward a cracked basement door, drawn by a faint glow. Down I go, pulse racing. A grinding hum hits me, mechanical like a saw, mixed with a bleached stench. Through the gap, I spot 3 guys, older, grizzled, in work gear, goggles, gloves, boots. They're staring at something I can't see. My gut screams run. I back off and the light dims, doors shut. I bolt upstairs, out the front, vault my fence, and lock myself in. From my dark office, I peek out. 8 guys spill into Zane's yard, scanning, arguing. No Zane. One shoves another, but they retreat inside. Music cuts off. Next morning, every car's gone. Zane's too. Days pass, no sign. His lawn's a jungle. Packages stack up. I ask around. Nobody heard a thing that night. Am I nuts? Months later, he's still MIA. Was a cover. Drugs. Worse? The fake party. The boots. The bleach. It's too deliberate. But that unlocked door? Sloppy. If Zane comes back, I might just demand answers. Or maybe I'll just keep my head down.